Happening now, Jamestown Public Schools are teaming up with the city to purchase some new sidewalk plows to help deal with issues before the first snowfall. And a charity golf tournament kicked off their annual festivities with a banquet thanking their sponsors. Plus, survivors of mass shootings testify before Congress, speaking out about their emotional journeys.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen. Latest local news is coming up. Well, we might be talking about snow today, but I hope it's not you talking about that, Dakota.
No, at least we don't have any snow in our foreseeable future with that, but we do have clouds and rain out there for this Thursday. You can see the Chautauqua Lake Association Skycam. The clouds overtop the lake, and we've had rain showers moving on through this morning. In fact, here's the time lapse for you. And again, you know, we've seen a couple of moderate bursts, especially through the morning hours, but the most of the heavier rain was last night. Now we're starting to kind of taper off now, but we're still dealing with some leftover rain showers across the inland southern tier. This is how much rain came down last night, over an inch in the hills of Cattaraugus County, almost an inch in Little Valley, over half an inch in Fredonia, close to a half inch here in town. So again, we told you how there was going to be heavy downpours overnight, and that's what we had. We topped out at 70 yesterday. We started the day at 53, 93, and 30 are the records. So through the afternoon, just lots of clouds. A few scattered showers will be possible at times. Ends across the later part of the afternoon with maybe some cloud breaks later on in the afternoon, 60 to 68. That's it. With a northwest wind, there's your culprit. Now we are going to see some more rain showers for the weekend, plus a warm up by next week. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, Bronson.
All right, we'll see you then, Dakota. Following last year's concern for student safety due to snowy sidewalk conditions, the city is partnering with Jamestown Public Schools to square away the issues before the first snowfall. Our Julia Gress has more.
Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist proposed funding for the project at a City Council work session earlier this week.
We want to start off today by talking about snow, and I apologize. I know that's a bad word. We don't always love talking about that, but it is something that we want to try to square away earlier this year. The city and the school district would engage in a shared services agreement. The school district would use their capital funds to purchase 2 new sidewalk plows for the city. The city would maintain those plows. In addition, the city would hire 2 additional park laborers used in the winter primarily for sidewalk plowing.
The laborers would remain as parks employees for the remainder of the year and would be running separate shifts during the winter.
They would run 3 different routes. One is a primary route, which are main routes that the school district has identified where most of their kids in a given school area come in from. Secondary routes would be additional ones that we would normally plow, additional school routes. And the third routes would be even farther.
Once these routes are finished, the laborers would continue with other tasks already being handled by the parks. Funding to hire the laborers would come through the ARPA funding and total $675,000 by 2026. Due to the workers with a CDL shortage, the city would hire laborers without, with the stipulation that they would receive their CDL within 2 years of being hired. The 2 plows would cost the school over $300,000, which Jamestown Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Kevin Whitaker says is worth it to protect student safety.
The 2 times that I needed to close school were primarily the result of sidewalk condition. And sidewalks don't load up with snow unless streets load up with snow, and DPW is out clearing streets. So the concern was, as streets begin to be cleared and the slush and whatnot is kind of built up on the side of the road. You have kids in sneakers or inappropriate footwear or inappropriate pants trying to walk through the snow.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. The superintendent continued that only 20% of students are bused to school, leaving 80% of students as walkers or receiving a ride to school from a parent or guardian. Gas prices in the state of New York has passed the $5 milestone as of today. According to AAA, New York's average price per gallon of gas is now $5.0009, hitting the milestone from $4.98 on Wednesday. In Chautauqua County, gas prices The average price per gallon hovers around $4.85, but with the trend of rising prices lately, that $5 milestone is not far off. Many who are getting gas today, including Chansporic, are still in shock over the increase in prices.
It's a little crazy knowing last year was $1.
And for many, there are only a few ways to fix these prices.
Open the Keystone Pipeline back up.
The $5 price per gallon is now New York's highest recorded average. And earlier today, I did happen to talk to our own Justin Gould, who is down in Virginia Beach, and the prices there are very much similar. Get ready to rev your engines. The annual Jamestown Cruise-In is coming back this year. The Chamber of Commerce is back again, hosting the event with a planned date of Friday, August 12th, from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. along 3rd Street between Washington and Spring Streets. The event brings a slew of regional collectors to show off their cars. The cars range from all sorts of makes and models, from hot rods to classics. Last year, the event brought hundreds of cars to be shown off to the public. This is the second time this event will happen post-pandemic. Because of this, President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce believes that the amount of cars this year will exceed last year's count. All are invited to stroll through downtown and enjoy the free family event. The Italian-American Charity Golf Association held a large banquet to recognize and appreciate sponsors and get the association excited for the upcoming golf tournament. Our Alyssa Wright joins us in the newsroom with the details.
Yes, Bronson, the annual charity event has officially kicked off yesterday by holding a banquet for their sponsors.
I consider it to be the most unique tournament of its kind in the country, quite frankly. It's a tournament that started 51 years ago, and currently what we do is we spend 3 days down at Holiday Valley in a competitive golf tournament with 84 teams. But the big thing that drives this tournament is the fundraising effort that has really been the mission of this tournament for many, many years.
The annual tournament is held every year, excluding 2020 due to the pandemic, with hopes of raising money to donate to the UPMC Cancer Center and, starting last year, hospice as well.
Last year we exceeded over $1.5 million over the lifetime of our tournament, and annually we set a goal of about $50,000, which we will once again make this year because of the generosity of the community and the individuals who have long contributed to this event.
The sense of community is very important to the members of the group.
I'm on the original committee. My youngest son, Jack Jr., was a chairman a few years ago. My oldest boy, David, is a chairman now. And I've got grandsons playing in this tournament. So it's been a whole family affair.
The event could not be made possible without the help of the newer generations to carry on the tradition.
All the monies go right to WCA Cancer Fund. So the money stays here, which is very important to this committee.
With all of the different generations coming together for such a great event, it is inevitable to see a familiar face.
But it's very important. I still have a lot of friends that when I come here, I see them.
Scores can be found on our Facebook page and our website at WNYNewsNow.com. In the newsroom, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
As WNY News Now continues, victims of both the Buffalo and Texas mass shootings testified before Congress, their emotional experiences coming up. And later, the Buffalo Bills are gearing up for their next season and what they feel went wrong with last year's season. Stay with us as WNY News Now will be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area, hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at Northwest Arena, where both kids and parents alike can learn about activities available to youth. Later in the evening, finish out the night at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. Stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Survivors and family members of the Texas and Buffalo mass shootings shared their experience with congressional members, detailing horrific first-hand accounts and sharing how those shootings have changed their lives. Keep in mind this report does have a warning alert. Some of the details can be upsetting for some. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
We were just watching a movie.
In a pre-recorded video, 11-year-old Mia Cirillo, a 4th grade student at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, shares her first-hand experience the day a gunman came into her classroom. Her teacher told the students to hide.
Shot my teacher and told my teacher goodnight and shot her in the head. And then he shot some of my classmates and the whiteboard. When I went to the backpacks, he shot my friend that was next to me, and I thought he was going to come back to the room, so I grabbed the blood and put it all over me.
19 of Cirillo's classmates and 2 teachers died. A pediatrician working at the nearby hospital describes the carnage he saw.
2 children whose bodies had been pulverized by bullets fired at them, decapitated, whose flesh had been ripped apart, that the only clue as their identities was a blood-splattered cartoon clothes still clinging to them.
In this congressional hearing on gun violence, the mother of Zaire Goodman, who was shot at the Tops grocery store in Buffalo, says their lives have changed forever.
My son Zaire has a hole in the right side of his neck, 2 on his back, and another on his left leg, caused by an exploding bullet from an AR-15.
Other family members testified, pushing Congress to act on gun legislation.
Do you feel safe at school? Why not?
Because I don't want it to happen again.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
During this hearing, the Republican ranking members expressed opposition to new gun legislation on this, saying in part that knee-jerk reactions to impose gun control policies that seek to curtail our constitutional rights to bear arms are not the answer. Continuing coverage now on rising inflation, it's carpenters who are feeling the frustrations. Those with Brendel services in Erie say that the shortages and inflation have made some customers reconsider getting home improvements done. Prices on items and labor have doubled, and in some cases tripled since the start of the pandemic. And in order to gather all the materials they need for our project, many operations are being delayed by several weeks. It's all made for a more complicated and costly process for both companies and consumers.
As far as price goes, an addition like this is costing pretty close to double than what it was probably 4 years ago. For an outside sliding door, usually it would only take like 2 weeks to get it, and for whatever reason it took, upwards of 3 months.
Right now, those workers are constructing an addition to one customer's home, a project which they say has doubled in price. Although the Buffalo Bills haven't played since January, many fans and NFL viewers are still questioning what exactly went wrong during the overtime loss to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. Although head coach Sean McDermott has said that the heart-wrenching loss can't be put onto one individual from the team, the Bills coaching staff has finally started to shed more light on the overtime loss. Newly promoted special teams coordinator Matthew Smiley addressed the media Tuesday and explained to reporters that miscommunication was the source of the problems for the Bills. That dreadful evening, coaches cited proper execution from special teams and the defense. Although the defeat was crushing, it did have a bright side. The coaching staff is now looking to take this situation and prepare the squad during the offseason so it does not happen again. Former President Trump is slated to answer questions under oath next month as part of the probe into the January 6th storming of the Capitol. After nearly a year and more than 1,000 interviews, a congressional committee investigating the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol will take their work public in a primetime hearing tonight. They'll begin to detail what they've described as months-long conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. They accumulated in a deadly attack. The panel said it would present previously unseen material and a summary of what they uncovered about what they describe as a multi-step effort among loyalists of former President Donald Trump to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Thursday's hearing is expected to include live testimony from at least 2 witnesses. Coming up, baby formula production is back in business, when you can expect to see formula back on the shelves. And later, community members gather to oppose tolls in Pennsylvania and the tolls on drivers' wallets. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast when WNY News Now returns.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area. Hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at the Northwest Arena as we ring in summer vacation with a party featuring snacks, music, and more. In addition, several groups will be on hand speaking with both kids and parents about the plethora of activities available to keep our youth occupied. Then later in the evening, finish out the home run day with a night of fun at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. As a PE teacher, I know the importance of keeping kids busy this summer, so stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. You can learn more online at ccsolutions716.com and watch for updates on the Collaborative Children's Solutions Facebook page.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Look, the Bills lost. Get over it. All right, now, if you're still with me after that, I know, boo, hiss, throw things at the TV. Now, if you're still with me here, this is the Goodyear Blimp in Findlay Lake. It came across the Lake Erie shoreline yesterday, and some people were able to capture some pictures and videos of the Goodyear Blimp. We don't see this here very often, so of course that was a nice thing to see in the sky yesterday. Now, this occurred this morning. Sean was out in Frewsburg and captured this on Oak Hill Road of trees that came down. We're not entirely sure of the reason by this. We're not sure if it was some sort of a strong wind gust or maybe because of the rain could have knocked the trees down. We're not entirely sure on this yet. We're going to look into this afternoon and try to figure out what happened with those trees. But it's cloudy downtown right now. It's 55 as a noon hour, and this is ridiculous. We have a wind chill of 52, so it is way below average today. I mean, it's June 9th, and we have a wind chill. Ridiculous. Now today, if you are going out to the Rib Fest down in Celeron, you will be dodging a few raindrops, especially early on from about 3 to 4 o'clock. We'll start to dry out from 6 o'clock onward, so the nighttime hours should be partly cloudy. Now, Pride Fest is also Saturday at the Winter Garden Plaza here in downtown. We are hopeful that by the flag raising, we should be dry, but again, by the time we work through the afternoon, we will be dodging some raindrops. So if you're going to the Pride Fest on Saturday, just bring the rain gear because you'll likely need it. First Defense Doppler showing you where we still have some of those rain showers across the inland southern tier now, mostly on the lighter side. None of this is starting to return on some of that heavier stuff, so it looks like we've kind of ended with some of that heavier rain now with some leftover light rain showers. Cold front has moved through. That's why it's significantly colder today with a wind from the north and northwest. But notice all the rain continuing out ahead of that front as it continues to push its way towards the east coast. So the newest Runner Future Scan shows you those scattered rain showers through the afternoon hours. We'll catch a few more through the afternoon, then it tapers off for the overnight, then partly cloudy for the overnight hours. Tomorrow will be a nice day, partly sunny. I do think that, it'll be pretty much the same thing where we're going to see more clouds than sunshine. But as we go into Saturday, notice how Saturday, it's trying to edge a little bit on the drier side, but by the time we go into the afternoon, you saw a couple of those green blips in there. That'll be the chance for a couple of those showers through the afternoon. So partly cloudy tonight, an isolated shower early, cool and breezy, 47 to 55, but the wind does diminish through the overnight hours. Now the next 7, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So again, we're up to 70 tomorrow, back down to 68 on Saturday. A few scattered showers will stay in the air on Sunday, close to 70. And look at a surge of warm air, Bronson. By next Wednesday, yeah, we could be getting close to 80 degrees once again. And it looks like we'll have 2 dry days early next week and then a few showers return by next Wednesday.
You know, I just got a text from my mother saying that you lost some brownie points with her for that Bills comment.
Hey, you know what? Just
go on. Gun reform legislation is front and center in the halls of Congress. Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey says that following the Sandy Hook massacre shooting, he changed his stance on gun control and hopes other lawmakers will follow suit.
And the excuse here that it's politically difficult I think it's insulting to the American people for a politician to say that at this point, that it's too tough politically. People here have to look themselves in the mirror, I think, and look their constituents in the face and answer that question. Are you willing to act to stop the kind of massacre we've seen in so many places?
The senator says following the Sandy Hook shooting, which killed nearly 20 elementary school students and 6 teachers about 10 years ago, he realized the U.S. needed stronger gun legislation. He's currently pushing for more background checks and is in favor of the so-called extreme risk protection laws, which would temporarily remove guns from people deemed a threat, as well as an assault rifle ban. Senators on both sides of the aisle are working tirelessly to find common ground legislation in response to all of these devastating mass shootings. Some good news this Saturday for parents whose children only drink special formula. Store shelves will be stacked with it by June 20th. That's according to Abbott, the company that makes baby formula. Abbott says its specialty formula production has restarted at its Michigan plant. The company says its production for babies who cannot tolerate other formulas right now. Following that, they will move on to regular formula. A federal judge signed off on an agreement in May that laid out the steps the company needed to restart production. Other nations have been shipping formula to the U.S. to help with the shortage in the meantime. This week in Harrisburg, lawmakers and local officials are speaking up against PennDOT's proposed bridge tolling initiative. Erie News Now's Brendan Scanlon tells us about a rally to shut down the bridge tolling initiative.
Today, bridge toll opponents are speaking out 3 weeks after a preliminary injunction by a Commonwealth Court judge, which temporarily halts PennDOT's initiative.
If you wanted to write a book on how to destroy manufacturing and jobs in Pennsylvania, this would probably be the first chapter in it.
PennDOT says 9 interstate bridges throughout the Commonwealth are at the end of their useful life cycle, and that tolling is the most viable option given the department's $8 billion annual funding shortfall. Opponents argue the tolls are a tax that would have far-reaching negative impacts.
The price of shipping goods will increase to account for the tolling, and this will affect businesses up and down the supply chain.
Through the Public-Private Partnership Initiative, PennDOT would repay contractors over a 30-year period using toll revenue.
This ill-conceived money grab by PennDOT and the Wolf administration.
The Interstate 80 Canoe Creek Bridge in Clarion County sits in the 21st Senate District, represented by Senator Scott Hutchinson, an outspoken opponent of the initiative.
It has been a sloppy, closed process.
Hutchinson says the injunction shows PennDOT did not follow the correct process. He believes they're now backtracking.
They're trying to have public hearings now. They're trying to do environmental studies now, diversionary studies, all this after the fact, after they've already approved these bridges.
That injunction is temporary and will only last as long as the court decides. If the injunction does end, PennDOT is free to resume their process. However, there are ongoing additional lawsuits that seek to shut down the bridge tolling initiative. Reporting in Harrisburg, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Back to you.
If tolling infrastructure is installed, PennDOT says cars would pay around $1 or $2, but the toll for trucks is still being figured out. Next, donating blood to get a chance to win some free gas money? More on that next.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
The Community Blood Bank is asking for the Erie area's help when it comes to battling a blood shortage once again, and it's a critical shortage. So, a blood bank promotion made it even easier for people to donate, with a huge incentive to help people get some free gas during record high prices. Erie News Now's Elspeth Miser has the details on these incentives.
Becca Tottleben was one of many people who rolled up their sleeves to donate blood on Wednesday, an act of kindness that she's benefited from in the past.
Actually 3 months premature, so donating blood is just kind of like a thing that we do just because we know where it goes, and my parents experienced firsthand where it goes to, so if we could help even just anyone, that'd be great.
This event comes as the area is in dire need of blood, with less than a day's worth of supply. Officials at the Community Blood Bank say that it's thanks to different businesses like Hoffman United that open up their door to help combat the blood shortage by hosting blood drives to get the community members involved. After hosting a blood drive last year, officials at Hoffman United knew they wanted to do it again.
We had the capacity to do it, so we wanted to give back, and there's multiple businesses here at Epco Park, so it's a way for them to get involved as well, so we're super excited to have everyone here.
After donating blood, people got a chance to be entered to win a $1,000 gas gift card to help ease the pain at the pump.
Gas prices right now has really driven up the demand, and there's clearly a big interest in winning that gift card.
Not only did Tottleben feel good about donating, but also about having a chance to get some help when gassing up.
So newly graduated, just got my first real job, so money's a little tight. So it'll be helpful to not have to worry about, $5 a gallon for gas.
Elspeth Meisner, Erie News Now.
Well, that's it for us today. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. Download it today free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We'll leave you with a live look from outside our studio today. We'll hope we'll see you next time on WNY News Now.